Hello and welcome, everyone. Uh, let's speak a little bit about this book, Footprints on Waters Free. I've been asked by a couple of people to delve a bit into the detail of the poetry, the art, the song of oneness, the translation of some of the passages that of the scriptures that are in these poetry and apparent stories in verse. So I mentioned this book in the previous videos, but let's bring it back from the back burner and speak a little bit about it. This book is simply an illustration of life as it is. It sings of the oneness of this appearance, it sings of the formlessness forming, it sings of this energetic expression of formlessness or emptiness dancing or of silence singing or absence energetically expressing itself as all there is, as all the waves, as you could call it. So this book sings about that. And of course, there is poetry in it, there are apparent stories in verse, there is some translation of the scriptures as well. So, in the forthcoming videos, go in details into the poetry and the art that has been, the art that is, and what mediums were used, how it all apparently came about. This book definitely was not written with the intention of writing a book, or I'm an author, I'm going to write nothing of that kind. This book simply was an expression, or you could say a sprouting of spontaneous sprouting of creativity, you could say. It would just come. And sometimes in the most hilarious of situations, the sometimes a line or two would come or a word or two would come, and sometimes there were whole passages that would come about while shopping, while eating, while cooking, cleaning, talking to people, uh, and then they were just simply recorded, and slowly the words started to take apparent shape, like almost, and the words were so flavorful, like airy and lemony, like lemon cake, or um, rich, like fruit cake, or chocolatey. And then they started to take shape in the form of poetry and apparent stories in verse. And then, as they were written, there was uh, some recollection of the poetic meters learned, or there was apparent uh, nuggets of non-duality that are there in the scriptures that was appeared as apparent memories, and they were included. Oh yes, that nugget of non-duality that was there, or maybe this could be included in this. And the poems and the stories then apparently took shape, and there was just this outpouring of that energetic outpouring of creativity. And of course then they were suggested that it could be shaped into a book, or it could be, like a nice gato or something. And my mother, who's also the co-illustrator of the book, Samita, she was an apparent artist, she suggested that the poems or the story should be illustrated. And then the art came out. Of course, this is all a story, but that's how apparently the art came about. And the art that came about was very apparently very unique as well, how it came about, because there was this ima- uh, apparent imagination of the characteristics, like for instance, uh, uh, the seeking, or the this book also speaks of the seeking. There's an apparent world of food very similar to the humankind, and then there's apparent seeking, uh, which appears like seeking of home, or seeking of love, or seeking of richness, or spirituality, or liberation, or enlightenment, or freedom. So those came about, and then those imagined, apparently imagined characteristics, or those characters were felt on the tongue. So for instance, if ginger was very dry, then color pencils seemed dry on the tongue. So the ginger was illustrated in color pencil. To show you some of the artwork. Here, this is the ginger, and it was made in color pencil, while gouache was used on garlic because garlic on the flavor is very gouache-like. So, because just close your eyes and that gouache feeling of garlic came about. Uh, and then, of course, like for the Golden Temple, gold ink or real gold illumination was used because gold has a very mercurial, um, energetic, lively quality, especially when you're painting it. It has this flowy, and it seems to just like very much like floating fluidity in free flow. That's how all the poetry or the song of this song of formlessness or uh, art or the translations even, that's how they came about. And though there must have been um, uh, I don't know, it's so difficult to speak about the ineffable. Words can never do justice. They are just flavors that can apparently point to that which cannot be spoken about. The flavors you can just suggest, like, you can just speak about those flavors. Oh, it's very lemony, it's very tangy, it's da, da, da. Or it's but they can never speak about the unknowable. So this book has not been written from some understanding or some preparation or, oh, this now I'm going to write a book. Definitely not. It was not understanding, it was not research, it was not something. It was just the unknowable outpouring. Not unknown, unknowable, because there is no one there. There is no solid static individuality deciding to do something. All is simply an appearance of this, a dance of formlessness or a song of silence. It's just this be it a thought, be it a feeling, be it this, be it that, whatever form appears, it's simply an energetic expression, and that's how it came about. So in the forthcoming videos, we'll go through the poetry, um, as to how it comes. Maybe there was a recollection of an Ottawa Rima or an envelope stanza, and that poem, how it came about, or memories apparently dancing as, oh, that scripture had that nugget of this song, which is so, it's so suggestive of this song which is appearing now. So maybe a passage was included, and of course references were given. So we'll go through that into detail, describing that. And an art like even like there is a painting of a tire. So there was like the closing of eyes, and what does the tire feel on the tongue on a hot road? And automatically charcoal kind of started to dance. So then charcoal was used for the tire, and other mediums, other materials were used for other illustrations. So we'll go into detail about each and every one. As far as the book is concerned, uh, it simply took shape. And then when a book came about, I showed it to Tony Parsons. As many of you know, I would go there. And he suggested a few titles. And this one, Footprints on Waters Free, just stood out right in the face. And that's how the title was chosen, on Footprints on Waters Free. Thank you so much. And let's delve a bit into the detail of this book, go through its artwork, its poetry, its translation. I will read out passages. But one thing is for sure, you won't get anything out of it because there is no you to get any out of it. It's not a business. It's simply a apparent pointer or suggestion of the song of formlessness, this energetic presence. So, thank you. See you next time.